Imagine being thrown into a dark well by your own brothers. Imagine being sold as a slave in a foreign land. Imagine being falsely accused and imprisoned for a crime you did not commit. And then, imagine being raised to the throne of power, honored, respected, and loved. This is not fiction. This is the real story of Prophet Yusuf, or Joseph, peace be upon him. And in Surah Yusuf, the 12th chapter of the Quran, God tells us that this is the best of stories. Surah Yusuf is unique. Unlike most surahs that contain multiple themes and different narratives, this chapter unfolds almost like a continuous story, from beginning to end. It begins with a dream, moves through betrayal, hardship, and injustice, and ends with forgiveness, wisdom, and triumph. It is a masterpiece of divine storytelling, a surah that touches the heart of anyone who listens to it. Allah revealed this surah at a time when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was facing great hardship. He was losing companions, facing persecution, and surrounded by hostility in Mecca. Surah Yusuf came as a message of comfort. Just as Yusuf endured suffering before reaching honor, so too would the Prophet's mission succeed after trials. The story begins with young Yusuf sharing a dream with his father, Prophet Yaqub. I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me. Yaqub immediately understood that this dream was special. It was a sign of Yusuf's future greatness. But he warned him not to share it with his brothers who already felt jealousy toward him. The lesson here is profound. Not every truth should be shared with everyone. Sometimes wisdom means protecting a vision until the right time. Out of jealousy, Yusuf's brothers plotted against him. They threw him into a deep well and returned to their father with a false story, pretending that a wolf had devoured him. Imagine the fear of a young boy abandoned in darkness, betrayed by the very people meant to protect him. Yet even in the well, Yusuf was not alone. God's plan was already unfolding. A caravan found him, and though he was sold as a slave, his journey toward greatness had begun. This reminds us that even the deepest betrayals can be part of a greater destiny. Yusuf was taken to Egypt and purchased by a nobleman, known as Al-Aziz. Here, Yusuf grew into a man of wisdom and beauty, but soon came another test. The wife of Al-Aziz, struck by Yusuf's beauty, attempted to seduce him. Yusuf resisted, seeking refuge in God. He chose prison over sin, saying, "My Lord, prison is dearer to me than what they call me to." This part of the story shows us the true strength of character. Real power is not in wealth or position, but in the ability to say no to temptation. Falsely accused, Yusuf was thrown into prison. Yet even in prison, he did not lose hope. Instead, he became a source of wisdom for others. He interpreted the dreams of fellow prisoners, one of whom would later become a servant to the king. Through these moments, Yusuf's gift of dream interpretation became known. What's the lesson here? Even when life seems unfair, even when you are trapped, you can still live with purpose. Yusuf transformed a prison cell into a place of da'wah and hope. Years later, the king of Egypt had a troubling dream. 7 fat cows eaten by 7 thin ones, and 7 green ears of corn followed by 7 dry ones. None could explain it until Yusuf was remembered. Brought from prison, Yusuf interpreted the dream with clarity. It meant 7 years of prosperity followed by 7 years of famine. His wisdom impressed the king, and Yusuf was elevated to a position of great authority, entrusted with managing the nation's resources. From prisoner to governor, what an incredible rise! Truly, when God wills, no injustice can block destiny. Reunion with his brothers. The famine spread across the land, bringing Yusuf's brothers to Egypt in search of food. They did not recognize him, but Yusuf recognized them. After a series of events, he finally revealed his identity, saying, "I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. God has certainly favored us. Indeed, whoever fears God and is patient, God does not allow the reward of those who do good to be lost." Imagine the shock, the shame, and then the relief. Instead of seeking revenge, Yusuf chose forgiveness. He embraced his brothers and reunited with his family. And here the dream of his youth was fulfilled. His parents and brothers bowed before him in respect, exactly as he had seen. The story of Yusuf is filled with timeless lessons. Patience in hardship. From the well to prison, Yusuf endured injustice without losing hope in God. Trust in God's plan. Even betrayal and false accusation were steps toward his ultimate honor. Integrity in temptation. True strength is resisting sin, even when it seems easier to give in. Forgiveness over revenge. Yusuf forgave his brothers, showing us the beauty of mercy. Hope after despair. The story reminds us that no situation is hopeless, because God's wisdom is always greater than our pain. In our world today, people struggle with betrayal, injustice, temptation, and despair. Surah Yusuf speaks directly to these struggles. To the one betrayed by family or friends, Yusuf was betrayed too. To the one suffering injustice, Yusuf was imprisoned unjustly. To the one facing temptation, Yusuf resisted it with faith. To the one feeling hopeless, Yusuf rose from the lowest point to the highest throne. His story whispers to every broken heart, "Be patient. Trust God. Your well may lead to a throne you cannot yet imagine." Surah Yusuf is not just the story of one man. It is the story of faith itself, tested, broken, but always restored. From the well of betrayal to the throne of power, Yusuf's journey is a reminder that God never abandons his servants. Every difficulty hides wisdom. Every loss can lead to gain, and every believer, with patience and trust, can rise from darkness into light. So the next time you feel lost, betrayed, or trapped in life's well, remember Yusuf. His story was called the best of stories for a reason, because it teaches us that with faith, every hardship can be transformed into a path toward greatness.